Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt the sting of disrespect? Someone cutting you off, undermining you, or dismissing your worth? It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the truth. It doesn't have to define you. Today, we're going to dive into 5 ways you can handle people who don't respect you. And I promise these tools will empower you to rise above the noise. Step 1, know your worth. Respect begins with how you see yourself. If you don't value your own time, energy, and abilities, how can you expect others to? Take a moment right now to think about your strengths, your contributions, and your unique value. Let those thoughts sink in. The way you carry yourself changes when you recognize your worth, and trust me, others will notice too. Step 2, stay calm and composed. When someone disrespects you, your gut reaction might be anger or frustration. That's human, but here's the deal: letting them control your emotions gives them power over you. Instead, take a deep breath, ground yourself, and respond with calm confidence. When you master your state, you send a powerful message: you can't shake me. Step 3, set clear boundaries. People need to know where the line is, and it's your job to show them. Speak up with clarity and confidence. It's not about being rude. It's about respecting yourself enough to say, this is what I expect, and this is what I won't tolerate. Clear boundaries create strong relationships, or they reveal who doesn't belong in your life. Either way, you win. Step 4, don't waste your energy. Here's the thing: some people won't change no matter what you do. And guess what? That's not your problem. Focus on your growth, your goals, and the people who uplift you. Success is the greatest response to disrespect. The more you pour into becoming the best version of yourself, the less their negativity matters. Finally, step 5, lead by example. The way you handle disrespect speaks volumes about your character. Rise above. Show kindness without letting people walk all over you. When you exude strength, respect, and composure, you create a ripple effect. People learn from you even if they don't admit it. So here's your takeaway: you have the power to demand respect, not with aggression or anger, but with self-assured action and purpose. The world may throw challenges your way, but you're stronger than any negativity. You are built to thrive, not just survive. Now go out there and own your worth. The world will follow your lead. Let's talk about respect, something we all want, but not always something we receive. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to fall into a pattern of frustration, anger, or even self-doubt. But what if I told you the most important respect you need isn't from them, it's from yourself? Respect is a two-way street. But the lane that leads back to you is the one you can control. Everything starts there. Think about this. How often do we let other people's opinions define our value? A dismissive comment from a colleague, a cold shoulder from someone you care about, or even subtle, undermining behavior can leave you questioning, am I enough? Let me tell you something loud and clear: you are more than enough. But here's the kicker: you have to believe it first. Knowing your worth isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about being rooted in a deep understanding of what you bring to the table. It's about recognizing the effort you've put into your skills, your relationships, and your life. When you truly know your worth, something shifts, your energy changes, you walk differently, you speak differently, and trust me, the world can't help but respond to that. Now let's dig deeper. When you're solid in your self-worth, disrespect doesn't hit the same. Does it still sting? Sure, we're human, but it doesn't shake your foundation. Why? Because you know their actions are a reflection of them, not you. If someone doesn't respect you, it says more about their character than yours. Your worth isn't up for debate, and you don't need their validation to prove it. But here's the challenge: how do you actually get to a place where you know your worth? It starts with looking inward. Take an honest inventory of your life. What have you overcome? What are your strengths? What do people come to you for? These are clues about your value. Maybe you're someone who brings calm in chaos, someone who lights up a room, or someone who delivers results no matter what. Whatever it is, own it. Write it down if you have to. Let it remind you on the hard days when someone's negativity tries to throw you off course. And let me be real with you, there will always be people who can't see your value. Maybe it's because they're threatened by it. Maybe it's because they're too wrapped up in their own issues. Or maybe they just don't know how to treat people right. None of that changes your worth. Let me say it again, none of that changes your worth. Once you know your value, you also learn to protect it. You stop giving your time and energy to people who don't appreciate it. You stop chasing approval or trying to fit into spaces that weren't designed for you. Instead, you create a life where respect is the standard, not the exception. And that starts with the way you treat yourself. When you respect yourself, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You show up for yourself even when it's hard. You set boundaries, not just with others, but with your own habits and behaviors. You choose to operate from a place of strength, not fear or insecurity. And when you do that, you start to attract people who see you for who you really are, not who they want you to be. Let me share a truth. I've learned people treat you the way you teach them to treat you. If you carry yourself with confidence and self-respect, you set the tone for how others will interact with you. That doesn't mean everyone will magically become respectful overnight, but it does mean that you'll be less likely to tolerate the ones who aren't. You'll be quicker to walk away from situations and relationships that don't align with your values. And that is power. So what does this look like in action? Imagine you're in a conversation where someone dismisses your ideas. Instead of shrinking back or reacting with anger, you hold your ground. You calmly and confidently restate your point, making it clear that you're not backing down. Or maybe someone consistently disrespects your time. Instead of letting it slide, you address it directly. I value my time, and I need to know that it's respected. Those aren't just words. They're a reflection of the respect you have for yourself. Knowing your worth isn't a one-time realization. It's a practice. It's a muscle you build every day by the way you talk to yourself, the way you show up, and the way you handle challenges. And let me tell you, once you build that muscle, there's no going back. You'll stand taller, speak clearer, and live freer. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this: your value isn't in their hands, it's in yours. Know your worth, and the rest will take care of itself. Let's talk about how we handle the challenges of disrespect. Life has a way of throwing these moments at us when we least expect it: a sharp comment, a dismissive tone, or outright disregard for who we are and what we stand for. It's easy to let these moments define us, to let them pull us off course. But what if instead of reacting, we took control? What if we chose to handle disrespect with clarity and power? One of the most important tools in your arsenal is mastering your emotional state. Think about it. How often do we allow someone else's actions to dictate how we feel? Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you're carrying that irritation through your whole day. A colleague makes a snide remark and it lingers in your mind, distracting you from your goals. This isn't just about their behavior, it's about the power you've given them over your emotions. The truth is, your emotional state is your responsibility. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. This is where true strength lies, not in reacting with anger or frustration, but in staying calm and composed. When someone disrespects you, take a moment to breathe. Don't let their negativity seep into your energy. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what do I want to create in this moment? How do I want to show up? That simple shift can change everything. Staying calm isn't about being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's about choosing not to engage in their chaos. It's about keeping your focus on what truly matters: your goals, your values, and your peace of mind. And let me tell you, when you respond to disrespect with composure, you send a message that's louder than any words. You say, I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game. I'm on a different level that's power. Now let's go a step further. Handling disrespect isn't just about your reaction, it's about prevention. This is where setting clear boundaries becomes crucial. Think of boundaries as the rules of engagement for how others interact with you. They're not about controlling others, they're about protecting your energy and ensuring you're treated with respect. How often do we let small slights slide because we don't want to seem difficult or confrontational? Over time, those small slights add up, and before we know it, we're tolerating behavior we swore we'd never accept. The key is to address these issues early, clearly, and confidently. When someone crosses a line, it's not about lashing out, it's about calmly stating your expectations. Imagine a scenario where a colleague repeatedly interrupts you during meetings. Instead of stewing in frustration or snapping in the heat of the moment, you pull them aside and say, I've noticed you often interrupt me when I'm speaking. I value open communication, and I'd appreciate it if we could give each other the space to share our thoughts fully. Simple, direct, and powerful. You're not attacking them, you're asserting your boundaries. Boundaries aren't just about saying no, they're about saying yes to the things that align with your values. When you set boundaries, you're prioritizing your self-respect. You're saying, this is who I am, and this is how I am, and this is how I expect to be treated. And here's the beauty of it: when you respect your own boundaries, others are far more likely to follow suit. But let's be real, setting boundaries isn't always easy. It takes courage to speak up, especially when you're dealing with someone who's used to crossing lines. But every time you stand firm, you're reinforcing your self-worth. You're teaching others how to treat you, and you're creating an environment where respect is the norm, not the exception. What happens when you combine emotional composure with strong boundaries? You create a space where disrespect can't thrive. People will either rise to meet your standards or remove themselves from your life, and either outcome is a win. You're no longer wasting energy on negativity. Instead, you're channeling it into your growth, your goals, and your vision for the future. So the next time you encounter disrespect, remember you have a choice. You can react, or you can rise above. You can let their behavior define the moment, or you can take control of it. Stay calm, set your boundaries, and move forward with purpose. Because at the end of the day, your energy is too precious to waste on anything less than respect. Disrespect is something we all encounter at some point in life. It can come from strangers, acquaintances, or even the people closest to us. What matters is how we handle it, how we choose to rise above the noise instead of sinking to its level. Because the truth is, disrespect only holds as much power as you give it. When someone treats you poorly, the first instinct might be to lash out, to meet their negativity with your own. But what if you paused instead? What if you let their words or actions wash over you without letting them sink in? Staying calm and composed isn't about weakness, it's about strength. It's about showing that you are in control of your emotional state, that no one else has the power to dictate how you feel or how you act. Disrespect is an experience we all face at one time or another. It shows up in words, actions, or even subtle gestures. And while we can't always control how others behave, we can absolutely control how we respond. Handling disrespect is not just about protecting your dignity in the moment. It's about choosing how you define your life and your relationships. It's about making decisions that reflect your worth, preserve your peace, and fuel your growth. Everything begins with understanding your value. When you know your worth, you see disrespect for what it is, a reflection of the other person, not of you. Someone else's inability to treat you properly doesn't diminish your inherent value. But here's the catch: you have to believe that first. You can't rely on others to validate your worth, because the moment you do, you hand them power over you. Self-respect is the foundation for how you navigate the world. When you carry yourself with confidence and an unshakable sense of self-worth, you send a clear message: I deserve to be treated with respect. But knowing your worth is just the first step. You also have to master your emotional state. How often do we let someone else's behavior dictate our mood? Someone disrespects us and suddenly we're consumed by anger or frustration. It's a natural response, but it's not a productive one. Reacting impulsively only gives the other person control over you. And that's not the kind of power you want to give away. Instead, take a breath. Pause. Choose to respond from a place of calm and strength. When you stay composed, you shift the balance of power. Someone might be trying to provoke you, expecting you to react emotionally, but when you don't, it's disarming. Your calmness says, I'm not going to stoop to your level. I'm in control here. That kind of self-mastery is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. But once you've mastered it, you'll find that disrespect no longer has the same grip on you. Of course, staying calm isn't enough on its own. You also need to set boundaries. Boundaries are your way of teaching people how to treat you. They're not about being confrontational or creating conflict. They're about protecting your energy and ensuring you're treated with respect. Without boundaries, disrespect tends to repeat itself. It's not enough to hope someone will change. You have to communicate your expectations clearly and confidently. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to asserting yourself. But it's a powerful act of self-respect. When someone crosses a line, address it. For instance, if a friend constantly makes belittling comments, you might say, I value our friendship, but those kinds of remarks aren't okay with me. I need us to communicate in a way that's respectful. You're not attacking them, you're simply stating your needs and reinforcing your boundaries. And let's be honest, there will be people who don't respect your boundaries no matter how clearly you set them. That's when it becomes essential to focus on your growth. You don't have to fix people who refuse to treat you well. You don't have to carry their negativity or let it slow you down. Instead, turn your attention inward. Pour your energy into your own development, your goals, and your vision for the future. When you focus on growth, you reclaim the energy that disrespect tries to steal from you. Instead of dwelling on someone's hurtful words or actions, you channel that energy into something meaningful. You work on becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. And as you grow, you naturally attract better opportunities and people who align with your values. But here's the most important part when you're focused on your growth. You're no longer defined by others' behavior. You don't let their disrespect shape your self-perception or your choices. You're too busy building a life that reflects your potential and your purpose. And in doing so, you set an example for others. You show them that respect begins within and that success is the best response to negativity. When you combine self-worth, emotional composure, clear boundaries, and personal growth, you create a life where disrespect loses its power. It doesn't mean you'll never encounter it again. Disrespect is a part of life, but it does mean you'll be ready for it. You'll know how to rise above it, how to protect your energy, and how to keep moving forward with confidence and purpose. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't let it derail you. Remember your worth, stay calm, assert your boundaries, and keep growing. Because at the end of the day, how you respond to disrespect says everything about you and nothing about them. In closing, let's remember that how we handle disrespect is not just about preserving our dignity in the moment. It's about setting the tone for the kind of life we want to live. Every interaction, every challenge, every moment of disrespect offers us a choice to react impulsively or to rise with intention. When you know your worth, when you master your emotional state, when you set clear boundaries, and when you commit to your growth, you step into your power. You become unshakable, not because disrespect doesn't affect you, but because it no longer defines you. You take control of your energy, your relationships, and your future. The journey to handling disrespect is really a journey back to yourself, a journey of self-respect, self-control, and self-growth. And as you navigate this path, you'll discover something profound the more you respect yourself, the less tolerance you have for anything less from others. You'll surround yourself with people who see your value, and you'll create a life that reflects the strength and integrity of who you truly are. So as you walk out of here today, I encourage you to embrace that power. Choose to lead with clarity, respond with composure, and act with purpose. Because at the end of the day, the most important respect you'll ever earn is the respect you give yourself. Thank you.